What's up guys, Magic Knives here, and today I'm bringing to you another AK-12 class setup, which in reality is the AN-94, but it's a new gun that is released along with Season 5 for Modern Warfare, and I have to say it's pretty beast. It's definitely different, but I would say for me it's the closest thing I can get to making an AK-12 setup other than just the actual AK itself, because I've said this before in my previous AK-12 class setup with the CR56, is that with the original AK, the fact that it only has a 30 round magazine for the 545 rounds is what makes it pretty disappointing for me, in that it's the only reason why I'm not happy with the AK-12 setup that you would do with the AK-47 as the base of it. So from the beginning, I was really hoping that they would put out or give us like the actual AK-12, since they have it in the campaign itself. But unfortunately it's not the case. And before this came out, I was doing the CR56, which was one of my previous videos for an AK-12 setup. But now they came out with this, the AN-94, which is actually it was intended to be a replacement gun for the AK-74 for the Soviets, or sorry, the Russians back then. But due to the design of it, they really didn't want to relearn a whole new gun for the Russian army, so it never got widely distributed or used in the Russian army. But then eventually down the road, they came out with the AK-12, which had some unique design features, but then with for the purpose of keeping the how you use the gun like the same functions and levers and everything, they wanted to keep it up as close to the same as possible to the AK-74. They incorporated some of the original AK safety lever and all the other functions the same, so that the Russian army could or the Russian soldiers could adapt to it very, very easily, and at the same time enjoy the upgrades that came along with the AK-12. So anyways though, but since the AK-12 still isn't, the true AK-12 isn't existing in this game yet, the closest thing we've got is the AN-94, especially given the fact that it is chambered in the 545 by 39 millimeter rounds that the AK-12 has. So that's pretty cool. Now the unique thing about the AN-94 is that it has a unique mode called hyperburst, which means that the first two shots, they will fire automatically before you feel the first recoil of the shot. So I mean, when you shoot this, even if you go to semi-automatic mode on this gun, it'll still fire 2 shots. There's nothing you can do about it. But the thing about it though is, even if you just shoot normally, in fully auto, it has a very nice burst mode to it. If you're just shooting it in short bursts, especially at a distance, you can get some pretty good distance shots or distance kills with this. But even if you don't do that, the way, because of the design of the hyperburst and everything, the recoil is very, very minimal, especially if you're really good at controlling recoil when you're firing this gun. You can keep it so controlled, your reticle or your aim will barely change, if at all, when you're aiming at a target or whatnot. So this is really good, like recoil control, like if you know what you're doing. But anyways, with that said, this is what I've pretty much put together as my quote-unquote AK-12 setup with the AN-94, which in my opinion is a much better suited model to use than the CR56. So if you know me, I go with pretty much my usual attachments, with as well much the same with my other rifles. Got the monolithic suppressor to obviously for sound suppression, but also to give some extra damage range. I was expecting to change out the barrel, but to make it look closer to the AK-12, but they didn't really have any good options. So you know what, I just decided I would leave it as is, so it could give me an extra attachment slot. So I left it at that. But the big important thing, and you probably would remember this from my issue with the original AK, is that it only has a 30 round magazine for the 545. This, given that it's the base ammunition for this is 545, they come in a 45 round magazine, which is really nice. I decided to stick with a 45 round magazine, but if you really want, it even comes with the 60 round magazine, which is pretty sick. So if you wanted to give it if you wanted to have a higher ammo capacity before you had to reload, then you go for the 60 round magazine. But personally, I go with a 45 just so I can maintain some mobility, at least when I'm running around. And you can actually still run and gun pretty well with this, or do some rushing like I usually do. With that said, now that that's taken care of, I can put all my focus on other attachments, including my usual red dot sight. And lastly, I do use the close quarter stock just to give it a little bit more of that AK-12 look. And in the end, you get a pretty beast looking AK-12 setup. But with that said, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay, and hopefully I'm probably going to be running with this gun for a while, just casually. But I hope to see you guys in my future videos. Thanks guys, peace out.